Good morning, Malta and Gozo, and welcome to another episode of Lovin Daily. My name is JP, and today I'm joined by my co-host Tim Diacono, and these are your 5 headlines for today. Man says Joseph Muscat crushed email with corruption evidence in his face. Catering lobby calls for regulation of private parties. Jorgen Fennick's lawyer questioned over alleged police leak. Architect behind Green Floriana plan calls out political slinging, and MEP hails right to disconnect as next step in workers' rights. Tim, can you take it away?
Yes, so an alleged corruption case has been going on for quite a few years. Underwent quite a development yesterday in court when a man, a certain Victor Bonello, testified about that Jimmy Magro, who used to be the Secretary General of the Labour Party, had solicited a bribe from him in return for winning a tender. Now he said that he had complained about this practice to several authorities, including Joseph Muscat back in 2014, who was then Prime Minister. He said he went to Castile, showed Muscat this email, but the Prime Minister just crushed this email in his face and told him, "Don't speak to me about this." Now, what does this mean? I mean, it could be something wrong. It would also mean that he wanted him to speak to the police instead of going straight to the Prime Minister. Jimmy Magro has been charged formally with corruption, and he is pleading not guilty, but this is quite a development. It's the first time the Prime Minister has made an appearance in this case.
Yeah. In his defense, really, it wasn't his responsibility to be dealing with such corruption allegations. The person in question should have gone directly to the police. In fact, if Prime Minister Joseph Muscat did get involved, it would have made things a bit more messier. But obviously, it's a huge development, and we'll see where it continues to go. Moving on to our second story of today, catering lobby calls for regulation of private parties. Malta's catering lobbyist group has proposed that private parties should be regulated, and gatherings as well, involving people from different households. Now, the AAC spoke out after Malta Medical Association called for a 9 p.m. weekend curfew last week to slow down the spread of the COVID-19 vaccine and help hospitals with demands. It warned that imposing such a blanket measure would be unjust to restaurants and catering establishments who would be forced to close at 9 p.m., meaning it would absolutely just kill their business on the weekends. Noting that there has been no significant evidence linking the spread of the virus with catering establishments who respect the COVID-19 protocols. Obviously, take in consideration the fact that bars right now are remain closed, and there's carnival around the corner. A lot of people are booking private farmhouses in Gozo and whatnot. So obviously there's some concern at the moment that these private parties and these private gatherings will result in a spread of COVID-19 cases. And this catering lobby is asking that authorities regulate these parties to ensure that they don't break protocols and rules and keep sizes down to a specific limit and specific bubbles, instead of imposing a 9 p.m. curfew, which in fact would just make the catering establishment situation a lot worse, especially considering that bars are already closed and may remain closed for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think the lobby just wanted to make a point, to be fair. Obviously, to regulate private parties will entail the police literally knocking on your home door and coming in to see if there are other people there. Now that has serious privacy implications. But I think their point was that that the restaurant industry keeps getting thrown under the bus with these measures. A curfew in the weekend will seriously damage them, obviously even more than they already are. And their point is stop focusing on us, stop focusing on others, and that's only fair. Moving on, Jorgen Fennick's lawyer Charles Mercier has been questioned over an alleged police leak. So over the weekend, we found out that Police Inspector Elton Taliana has been suspended on suspicion of passing on confidential information to Charles Mercier about a certain Julian Hofstra. Julian Hofstra is a young Dutch national, a criminal who is currently in a prison in Amsterdam, and recently he claimed to have recorded state witness Melvin Thoma when Thoma said that he was implicating both Jorgen Fennick and the Prime Minister's then Chief of Staff Keith Schembri in the murder and cover-up of Daphne Caruana Galizia. Now, This was confirmed before. Mercier has been, Lovin Malta confirmed that Mercier has been questioned by police. He said he wasn't arrested, but over the weekend he was taken over for questioning about this. However, the fact that the police officer is suspended shows that this is being taken extremely seriously.
Absolutely. Moving on to our third story today. Architects behind Green Floriana plan calls out political mudslinging. One of the architects behind this incredible proposal to turn Floriana's main street into a garden has urged people not to use his design for political mudslinging, warning this attitude risks stifling the project entirely. Ian Camilleri Kassar spoke out after Times of Malta columnist Christina Ketkuti wrote an opinion piece criticizing the government for placing his proposal of the St. Anne Street on the back burner for the past 6 years. Ketkuti, who's also the girlfriend of former PN leader Simon Busuttil, had specifically criticized Environment Minister Aaron Farrugia for not giving the project the attention it so rightly deserves. Farrugia had retorted on Facebook saying that his ministry had issued a tender last December for a geotechnical investigation of St. Anne Street, the first part in a process that could lead to the implementation of this project. However, the architect Camilleri Kassar stepped into this whole debate and said, listen guys, let's not turn this into an act of political mudslinging, because this politicization of the project could completely just stop it in its tracks entirely. And really at this moment, and I couldn't agree with him more, to be honest, there's not every issue in Malta has to be politicized. Something like this especially, which has huge benefits just for our nation and our tourism sector and for everyone in the environment, really we should also unify and stand behind it and do our best to see it through instead of trying to pin PN versus Labour. Really, I couldn't agree with him more. I feel that both Ketkuti and Farrugia in this sense were out of line for turning this into an issue between them both, and it's quite immature, but this definitely shouldn't be something that is made political, and we should really just unify behind it.
Yep, this is probably, if it comes into play, it will probably be the most impressive and beautiful infrastructure project Malta has seen definitely in the past decade or so. Now, for our final story of the day, MEP Alex Ajou-Saliba has hailed a proposal of his in the European Parliament calling for the right to disconnect to be enshrined in European law as the next step in workers' rights. So he mentioned popular socialist figures like Dom Mintoff and Paul Buffa several years back, and this is the continuation of their fight. The right to disconnect, which means that workers should have the right to not to answer phone calls, messages and emails after work hours, and that they shouldn't be punished or treated differently, for example, looked over for a promotion as a result of them endorsing this right to disconnect. I think this is an extremely important piece of legislation if it does come through. I mean, I think everyone knows that the fact that you have a mobile phone on you means that you're constantly contactable, and this can be a good thing, but it can also be abused, and you can end up spending long hours at work, which you wouldn't even be paid for because it wouldn't even count as work, but you're still technically working. I think it's unfair, and it's great to see this being tackled.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a growing issue in the modern workplace where, like you said, everyone's connected all the time. It's a matter of respecting people's private time outside of working hours. We already give a lot to our work as it is, and obviously it's a healthy proposal for people to create a good work-life balance. I couldn't agree with it more. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Make sure to stick around for to check out our Vox Pop we did on COVID-19 vaccine, and where we asked people on the streets of Malta whether they would be taking the COVID-19 vaccine. That comes up right after this, but for now, have a day full of lovin'.
The COVID-19 vaccine, no.
No? Why?
They have in it too.
You don't know what's in it? No. What do you think is in it?
Like a chip, and they will know where you are. Ginger, you know what is ginger? I just take ginger.
Fetal tissue, 5G, Bill Gates, or a cure to this pandemic. Whatever your views are on the COVID-19 vaccine, we want to know. So we're here in Valletta to ask, are you going to take the COVID-19 vaccine?
Yes, why not? It'll help in our daily chores, daily events. We can live.
Will you take it?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know, I'm just gonna take it. If you take the Maltese sausage, you're going to take the vaccine, so.
The vaccine, yeah, I will take the vaccine, yeah. Two times. Two times.
I don't know enough about it, so I would like to know more about it and then decide
What don't you know about it?
what's in it and
Like fetal tissue or like 5G, Bill Gates?
I cannot answer to that because I don't know enough.
Are you going to take the COVID-19 vaccine?
Yes, of course.
Why are you going to take it?
It's a way to going back to normal, I believe.
I am not agreed with the vaccine, but to go abroad, I have to take it.
Why don't you agree with it?
I don't know what's going to happen in 5 years with the vaccine.
No.
No?
No.
Why?
Inte Maltin.
Yeah. You're not a slim mama, so, you know.
You are Maltese, great.
I'm just very tough at that.
Għax nara too soon sabu vaccine għalija, fimt? Mentri batem other diseases ilhom snin u decades u mal-kanzer u hekk. Għadhom ma sabux.
You are going to take it. Why?
Because we don't want to get sick and we don't want to make anybody else sick.
That's a hard question. It depends. I'm gonna see if other people how they react, and then I'm gonna take it.
I don't know. I mean, it's not confirmed that it's 100% safe.
Who needs to confirm that it's 100% safe?
The health authorities.
But they have.
On the internet I saw. I mean, it wasn't 100% confirmed.
So it's the internet that needs to confirm it, not health officials.
No, in general.
And you?
Yeah, I think so. I will take it.
I don't know, man. Young people, too much time on the internet.
Yes,
Why?
because I trust it.
Do you have a message for young people who are skeptical about the COVID-19 vaccine?
Yes, they mustn't let the youth go to the head. They are very clever, but they don't know it all.
Maybe you want to tell them, listen to Charmaine Gauci.
Is that you?
No, I'm not Charmaine Gauci.
Okay, Charmaine Gauci, yes, of course.